Welcome back to News Geelong. The Gordon, Geelong's Institute of TAFE, will provide greater flexibility and learning opportunities with a project to implement wireless area network, as Nathan Curry reports.
Well, Richard, the Labor government and yourself has poured a fair bit of money into the Gordon. You must view it as a really important part of the Geelong community.
Oh, the Gordon is at the heart of the Geelong community. This is a facility or a college which has been here for 123 years. I think it's an icon, really, of Geelong. It's one of those names that you totally identify with Geelong, and there are so many people in our city who have trained here, who have studied here, that it's very much a part of the fabric of the community. It's also the largest regional TAFE college in Victoria with 8,000 students, 800 staff. So a great opportunity to have an announcement here today, which is really about taking the Gordon into the 21st century.
And why did the opportunity to install wireless technology and upgrade the boiler appeal to you?
Well, I love the combination of the two. It's kind of the old and the new, and as I said, it would be as familiar, I think, to people here 123 years ago about what it means to replace a boiler. But of course, when we're talking about the rollout of a new wireless network facility, or for the first time a wireless network facility, that's very much about taking the Gordon into the 21st century. And what it's really going to do is make this the whole campus a classroom. You can study on your own device, which is able to engage in the wireless network. You can do it in the classroom, but you can do it in the canteen, in the courtyard, here in this gallery, in the library, and that gives a much greater flexibility in terms of learning. But I think, you know, at a bigger picture level, what it really means is that the Gordon is at the cutting edge of information technology and at the cutting edge of providing the very best educational services to its students.
How far does the wireless technology actually cover?
It covers both our campuses, so here at City Campus and our East Geelong campus, so it covers both campuses full spread, so not just the classrooms, but facilities such as the gallery and out in the courtyard and the canteen, so students can actually utilise it outside the classroom environment.
So what advancements will the students get out of this new technology?
Really actually increases the flexibility. They can actually access a lot of information, learning resources that they couldn't before, and from our staff it actually enables them to deliver new strategies the way they actually deliver their program, so it's fantastic.
And I bet they're looking forward to the new boiler come next winter.
That's a very exciting development. If we didn't have it, they'd soon notice we didn't have it, so it's pretty important that in winter we have a pretty warm environment, so yeah, that's also a pleasing result too.
And what's the next step for the Gordon?
Well, we've got a lot of, in terms of capital projects, the Premier came down recently and announced $26 million for redevelopment of the James Harrison site. So we've got big plans. We've got a new strategic plan for 3 years. So yeah, we're looking forward to a great future.
Thank you, Nathan. With the population of our region growing rapidly, the ageing population and demand for health services growing faster than the rest of the economy, the medical debate continues, as Meryl Friend reports.
We're here at the Geelong Business Network breakfast, again at Barwon Edge, where we've had the discussion this morning, do we need more medical facilities for Geelong? We were able to speak to some of the panel members this morning. Ken Jarvis, the chairman of the GMHBA, was chatting here on the panel this morning. Can you tell us a little bit about this morning's discussion?
Well, it was a discussion about the health situation in Geelong, and I guess I broadened it to talk about the health situation in Australia. And pointed out that, you know, we're not that bad off. We tend to whinge a bit about health, but if you look at it in a world context, we're doing pretty well. We live longer than most people. We live in the second most happiest country, according to the latest UN study, and our health costs are very reasonable by world standards. So it's not all bad. But we certainly have things to do, and I think there's some major areas that we need attention in. Primary health care, things like electronic health records, I think are a major thing that I'd like to see much more focus. But I think in the Geelong region we can do some good things. We're very fortunate in that we do have quite an expansion in public and private hospital systems planned for the next few years to match that very substantial growth we're going to see in Geelong. So I'm very optimistic about the future in Geelong.
Joined with John Livingston, who's the Chief Executive at Lake Imaging. And what were your thoughts on the discussion this morning, John?
Yeah, g'day, Meryl. I thought this morning was a very productive discussion, and it raised a few issues, and infrastructure being the new hospital out at Warren Ponds is one thing, but one of the striving challenges that we have as a region is to make sure there's adequate workforce to not only man that, but to not drain resources away from the existing facilities within the region.
So the growth of the area is such that we're requiring more and more medical facilities, and the question was put, is another hospital really needed?
I think in due course there's no doubt that another hospital will be needed in the region. Whether that's now or it's in the future, I guess St John's will be shortly hopefully getting approval for a major redevelopment, notwithstanding what Geelong Hospital, private hospital, are looking to do, but there may be adequate beds in the short term to cater for the needs of the population, and notwithstanding that, I think that in due course it would be very welcome to have another facility out at Warren Ponds or wherever. It's just a question of whether that's timing is now.
Oh, look, I thought it was a really interesting conversation that was had, because we had people from the private sector and we had the City of Greater Geelong and we had people from the public system. And I think a lot of the discussion was around what's the most appropriate balance to meet the needs of a growing community and also to meet the needs of a community that perhaps aren't gaining access to health services that others in the region do have access to at the moment.
Here at Bowen Edge, Meryl Friend, News Geelong.
Thank you, Meryl. The Lions Club International District 201 37th Annual Convention provided the perfect backdrop for a very special presentation to a very special young girl and the opportunity to walk. Joining us, a couple of young lions. Michael Harris, who is the Regional 2 Chairman. A great day at the convention and a great moment for a young lady by the name of Claudia Murray.
Certainly is, Graham, and it's with pride that we will be presenting Claudia with her walker, which has been funded by our region, which consists of 14 clubs. And it's been strongly supported by our District Governor, Max Oberlander, and also our Chairman of our child mobility in this area, John Emerson, who's here beside me.
John, it's a great job you do as far as the youth of today, and the look on Claudia's face when she first started to realise walking ability was just priceless.
It certainly is, and one of the great assets of it that people don't realise, in getting the children actually standing and mobile, it improves the workings of the organs in the body, so it has other effects apart from just being able to walk in general health terms.
Now for our viewers, obviously there's a price tag being put on this, and I know money is not everything, but a lot of effort put in by the Lions. What's the value of today's presentation?
Well, I'd prefer not to say the actual valuation, but it's a team effort between all our clubs, and it does run into a considerable amount of money, but I'd prefer not. Each individual walkers, they are at different prices, and I don't think I'd like them to be compared at this stage.
A lovely lady who has today been the recipient of a gift on behalf of the Lions International, Claudia Murray. How are you, Claudia?
Good.
You're very good, and her mum, Janique, a very, very pleasing moment for you and your lovely daughter.
Yeah, it's amazing. They're just fantastic people, and they've made one little girl and her family incredibly happy. It's been fantastic.
For our viewers, the hard question, I suppose, can you, just a brief explanation, Claudia's difficulties?
Claudia's got a condition called degenerative, which affects her nervous system. So, as I explain it simply to people, the messages from Claudia's brain don't travel to her body. So in her brain she's fine, but her body isn't able to do what her brain tells her to do. So quite difficult for her at some times, quite difficult for us, but fine in her brain. So she's a bright, bright little girl. So fantastic.
Are you very bright?
Yes.
Yes. As bright as that little Diamenti in your head? News Geelong will return with sport and weather after this.